And you're with Spaceman Africa on LocalnLive. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Friday edition. I would love to introduce you to my special guest. It is the artist Liv Li, also known as Amber. Amber,
hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Spaceman.
You are
Happy
welcome.
to be here.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming in. You've brought Paul, part of your crew. He's doing the filming duties.
Yeah, he's on the BTS capturing some footage, but he's an amazing producer, so I'm glad he's in the room. So if I need to ask any questions, he's right there.
Oh, you've got a brain's trust. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
I love it. All right. Well, welcome. You're in the show today to talk about your new single.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do that, for those who aren't familiar with your story, if you could give us a brief outline of your musical path, your journey along your musical career.
Yeah, sure. So I probably started my musical journey in a band. You would know it, Spacemen, as Angels or Architects, but we went through a number of names. Couldn't quite land on one that we were happy with. We were The Fallen, we were Marco Polo, we were If Angels Were Architects, but we finally landed on Angels or Architects. And I was in that band for 7 years, and it was so much fun. I have such great memories of being in that band. That's when I met you, I believe.
That's right, yep.
And we were lucky enough to, tour the world with that band. We spent a lot of time probably Southeast Asia doing a lot of our shows. And I think the highlight for me was playing Christmas Eve in Singapore, shutting down Orchard Road to 60,000 people. That was I don't know if I'll be able to top that. But that was really amazing, just being part of a band with your best mates and playing music. Yeah, good memories. So I did that for quite a few years, and when that band ended, just because people wanted to do different things, I then decided to go solo. I didn't write any of the music in Angels or Architects, so it was kind of exciting for me to kind of, I guess, flex that muscle and start kind of writing and putting my own music out there. And so I did that for a number of years and released an EP called All My Lullaby under Amber Nichols. And actually I got quite a few awards for that. That was a good time, and I got to work with heaps of really amazing writers. That's when I kind of stepped out and started networking and started, I guess, really reaching out into the industry and working with some amazing producers, amazing writers. One of them was James Roach from Bachelor Girl. He really took me under his wing and helped me with a lot of crafting of the songs. You were going to ask me a question then. What was it?
I was going to say you're probably a bit too modest to say the awards. You won Australian Music Oz Independent Award. Oh, you were a finalist.
Yeah, finalist.
You were robbed. You should have won. And winner of the Worldwide Independent Music Award for Best EP.
Yeah.
And crowned ACT Pop Artist of the Year.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure if it was the Mamas back then or what it was called, but I know that we're still doing that. But that was a really exciting moment because I did a lot locally as well, and really kind of immersed myself in the local music scene and got to know a lot of other bands and artists at that time, and that was really fun. And then I kind of felt like I had gotten myself as far as I could go. Like, what should I do now? And maybe I'll have a shot at a reality TV show.
Well, we're going to talk more about that later. Yeah.
So that's where my journey took me next, and then a total rebrand with Liv Li after that. So, yeah.
All right, and for those who do not know, what's the meaning of Liv Li?
Yeah, Liv Li is, it's a combination of my son Charlie and my daughter Olive's names. So I know I mentioned before that, we had 4 shots at our name with Angels or Architects. So I'm like, I want to pick a name that's actually going to be linked to something meaningful, so I'm not going to get bored of it and want to change it. Mm-hmm. And I also like the fact that it kind of looks like Roman numerals when you logo it. So
yes.
So that was pleasing to the eye for me and the ears. So yeah.
And then reading your bio, you said you had a change of direction when you went solo.
Yeah.
So Angels or Architects, I was quite a fan. I lost count how many gigs I went to.
Yeah.
They were, I guess you could say rock, but when you've gone solo, you've swapped the piano and guitar for beats and synths. What's inspired that change?
You know, I always, even when I was in Angels or Architects, the music that I was listening to was Portishead, was Lamb, was Massive Attack, like that kind of more electronic music.
Yep.
And I always wanted to bring that element into Angels or Architects, but the guys were very like Muse kind of Radiohead inspired, and because they were writing a lot of the songs, there was a little bit of that influence, but not as far as what I wanted to take it. So, and Mitch, who was the drummer in Angels or Architects, he's always been a lover of electronic music and was so up for it. And so, you know, when we play live, he's just got the pads out. Like he a lot of the time he'll just have a stand-up kit with just, you know, electronic pads and go nuts. So that just makes me excited. So, yeah, that's why we went that way.
Right, and speaking of your live set, you've got, says here, a killer live set with electronica and infectious hooks. So explain when you're playing live, what kind of band do you have?
Yeah, we manage it all just with the three of us. I know you can't see Paul, but Paul's in the room and he produces a lot of my music. And he's a crazy person on stage, controlling many, many things and triggering many, many things. So we play with backing tracks. We use triggers. Like I said, Mitch has a stand-up drum kit. If it's a really big show, he'll get the kit out for sure and have the pads as well. But for the most part, we can pull it off just with the three of us, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Because it can get expensive, like with a full band, very quickly. Yeah,
if you're touring the world, as you would know.
Yeah.
All right. And you're here today to talk about your new single, Down by the Water. You released a few last year. Sort of, was that intermittently on purpose, or it was just...
I'm kind of...
It was like every 3 months, was it?
Yeah. So I'm kind of... I've got so many songs sitting on a hard drive or sitting in the cloud, right? And I want to put them out there, and just life and the chaos of life and busyness, I kind of forget that I've got all these songs piled up and I've got to put them out there. So every now and then I'm like, let's release a song. So, there's a bunch more coming, and we did a bunch last year. Dear Body, Memorize. We did a Christmas Carol. That was fun. I think I'm going to do that every year
Silent
now.
Night.
Yeah. So it was nice to do something like that. So yeah, I've got a bunch of music and plan to kind of drip feed them every few months is the plan. So,
all right. So tell us about Down by the Water.
Yeah, Down by the Water was kind of one of those songs. Paul and I think we might have had that as kind of like a half demo for maybe 3-4 years. He played this really cool kind of glockenspiely beat thingy, and I just started singing random words. I mean, a lot of my stuff is deeply personal and really like autobiographical, but this was just random words. What came out was, I think the chorus is "Blame it on me," and I'm thinking, well, what are we blaming on me? And my mind was going crazy, and I'm like, well, what if we killed somebody? That's kind of where my mind went. So, I mean, you can listen to the song and pick out your own meaning, but that's where my mind went. So I just had a lot of fun going, this isn't about me at all, so I can just write whatever. And that was kind of really fun. And yeah, we pulled it out of the archive and finished it off, and we're like, let's just put this out. This is a cool track.
Excellent. Yeah, there would have been a lot of freedom. Just, I can write about anything.
Yeah, when it's not personal, you just don't care, right? You can just say, take it wherever you want to take it.
Brilliant. All right. Well, let's have a listen. This is Down by the Water by Liv Li.
Just let it float away. A fragile heart got torn apart and
Staring at your looks, just blame it on. Just blame it on me. Just blame it on. Just blame it on me. Sometimes when it gets real quiet, my mind forgets to lie. It makes me crazy. I don't know how to just forgive everything we did. You probably hate me. Say you won't hate me. Just blame it on me. Just blame it on. Just blame it on. Just blame it on.
At 2XX FM 98.3, your support is important to us. Become part of your community station by subscribing, donating, sponsoring, or volunteering. Visit us at 2xxfm.org.au.
And you are with Spaceman Africa, and we are on LocalnLive. Thank you for tuning in to 2XX People-Powered Radio. And I'm here with my guest, artist Liv Li, also known as Amber. We've been talking about her musical exploits and her latest single there, we just played, Down by the Water. Now, welcome back, Amber.
Thank you.
Now, there's a few stories of few things that have happened in your musical career I'm really keen to talk about.
Okay.
Firstly, I remember when you were, and you talked about this before, you went on reality TV. Mm-hmm. You went on The Voice, and you did very well, if I remember rightly.
Did all right.
What was the experience like for you?
Actually, the experience was awesome. It was really fun. Probably afterwards was a little more challenging in terms of having the freedom to like put music out, because I got involved in a record deal that was very restricting that I ended up having to get out of, but that's another story. But the actual experience on The Voice, had a blast, had a ball. It was the...
From memory, all four chairs turned around for your audition.
That was a really special moment, actually, because I think when you go and audition for something like, well, for me, the headspace I was in was like, I think I can sing. I think I'm all right. I know my mum's really likes my voice, and some other people have told me that I might be okay.
Yeah.
But when you get that, people, you know, that are very well established in the industry, turning around and giving you that kind of approval, like that really just gave me a bit of a confidence boost. Like, oh, maybe I can kind of do something with this. So the four-chair turn was very special. What was probably a bit challenging was we did all of the pre-records, and then we had a 6-month break. But I actually got pregnant like 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before the blind audition. I think I found out like a week before and did all the pre-records, and that took about 3 months, and then we went on a 6-month break. And so when I came back, I think I was 39 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, I remember you were pregnant, yep.
So I just, I really kind of struggled, I think, to breathe, for one, just give the performance that I knew I was capable of. So for me, like, I think it's a bit overshadowed that I, like, in my mind, I just didn't do as well as I would have liked. But I also had a great experience doing it. Like, it was so much fun, met some really great artists, and had a ball.
Originally, who did you go with? Because if my memory serves me well, you were going to leave the show, but then Jessie J stepped in and saved you.
Yes, correct.
Who was the original?
So I went with the Madden Brothers originally, because I wasn't going to touch like Jessie J or Delta, because I don't have that kind of voice that can do the big notes and the runs. So I was like, I want to go with the Madden Brothers because maybe they can help me bring something else, because I'm just going to feel way too intimidated singing with Jessie J.
And who was the other judge? Was it
Ricky Martin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so I picked the Madden Brothers, and they were awesome. They were really cool. But yeah, then I went into my battle round and got totally annihilated. But Jessie, she did step in and save me. And then I was on her team for the rest of the show.
Right,
Yeah.
yep. I remember she had you lying down because you were pregnant.
But I was lying flat on my back pregnant. That just made it 10 times worse to breathe.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that exercise was the best for me. But anyway, I forgot about that.
I was going to ask, what kind of support does the show give the artists afterwards? But you've just mentioned that. Did that contract was a result of the show?
The contract was a result of the show, but it was a completely independent record label. It had nothing to do with the show. So, but there was clauses when I was on the show that you weren't allowed to do any, you couldn't release any music for a certain period of time. You couldn't be active on social media because they don't want to take away from the winner. So I don't remember how long that was. It might have been 6 months. You're not allowed to release anything.
Wow.
I think they've completely done away with that now, which is really good. And I watched the Voice this last season, and I saw that instead of doing record deals, they're doing more development deals like with Studio 301, which I think is really I think that's better. But yeah, so I couldn't do anything for 6 months, and I got signed to a label.
Well, you just had a baby, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I just had a baby, but I wanted to hit the ground running, right? Because you don't get that, you got to capitalize on that kind of exposure. Yeah. But then I also realized that the people that watch The Voice are tuning in to be entertained on television. It doesn't mean that they're going to then jump over to your Spotify, jump over to your actively seek you out. It's a very small percentage of people that do that. They're just ready to watch the next reality TV show or the next thing that's happening. So it doesn't necessarily translate the way that you would hope, but I did want to try to capitalize on that exposure. And the reason why I went on The Voice was because I'd already started working on what would be the Liv Li music, and I thought, how can I give this a boost? But it probably delayed me for a few years because I got then stuck on this label that didn't release any of my music, and I ended up just paying to get out of that and doing it independently.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wondered what's the support like for the artists. Is it just for the winner, or is the other?
Yeah, no. Artists? So it's just for the winner, I guess, if they get the contract. But then the Voice isn't supporting them. They pass it to in my year it was Universal. So then Universal would then take that artist, and they're there to make a television show and to make it entertaining. They're not there to build artist careers after the show. Which it would be good if there was something there for the artist. So I think it would help lean more credibility to the show. Well, look what all these people are doing afterwards, because if you actually go and look up their social media, they're all doing stuff. All of the singers that were on the show that year that I were on, they're all doing amazing things. And all the other seasons after that and before, they're all still going, right? But we've got to kind of seek them out and support them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. People just watch and then they move on to the next thing. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is you've been to East Timor and played for the troops.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
That was really amazing. And we did that actually over Christmas. So for a lot of the troops, they don't get to go home. They don't get to go home and be with their family over Christmas. So it was kind of nice just to bring them, I guess, the gift of music and bring them kind of something from home. I actually went over there with Rob Farnham. He was John Farnham's son.
Okay.
So he's got his own band. He does his own thing. He's really cool. So we got to go with them and a comedian as well. So it wasn't just me. It was like myself, our band, then Rob's band, and then there's a comedian as well. So you do a performance. I think we did a performance every night for 3 nights, and they're just so appreciative of it, right? They just love having a bit of a taste of home and to be entertained. And I had a ball, and you get to see a bit of what's going on and get shown around the place and see, some of the good work that they're doing, and especially over in East Timor, like what a difference they made to the community. And, just walking around with the troops, like the locals were really appreciative of them, and you could see that, they were really making a difference over there, which was nice to see because, don't always know if we're doing the right thing in other countries.
Yeah, a lot of what we see on the news is not the whole story. So to go there and then, make them happy, the troops, that would have been great experience. All right, back to Liv Li. What's happening for 2025? You mentioned you're drip feeding a few more songs.
Yeah, I have so many songs ready to go. During COVID, I actually did a little bit of a stint with Andy Mack, who produces a lot of Vera Blue stuff, and he's a producer that I've always wanted to work with. So I did a few songs with him. I also, just before COVID hit, went over to Nashville and LA and did a whole bunch of writing and recording.
Okay.
So when I tell you that I have like a hard drive or cloud drive full of songs, like I'm really good at the making the music and getting excited, creative part of it. But that when it comes to the admin of like putting a song out there and the marketing and all that kind of stuff, that's where I kind of lose interest. And that's where I need to be better at actually sharing my music with the world. And, Paul and I do a lot of stuff together. We got, I don't know how many songs we've got on the boil. So, so my challenge to myself this year is just to like release as much music as I can. Whilst juggling work, and because I still have a full-time job and family and everything.
And you mentioned earlier off air, there's no gigs as yet, but is that the plan to do some more live shows? Yeah,
I'm missing it. I'm really missing it. So I think, I want to put on my own show, curate it, bring in the support acts that I want to bring in and put on something really special. So just talking to you before we kicked off officially, I just feel inspired to get back into it. I've realised just talking about it how much I miss it. So it's one thing to like be behind the computer and be creating, but like to actually test it out on an audience and see their reaction and to be able to share the stories of where the songs come from, I think that's something really special. Yeah,
for sure. It can be addictive. You have a break and then you get back to it and you think, why did I stop? Why wasn't I doing this? Yeah, last time I saw you, I think you had playing Full House at Smith's, and it was your own gig.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good night.
Which leads us into the random question.
Mm-hmm.
You chose question number 27. Would you rather have every gig be a wild party or a deeply emotional connection with the audience?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. I think if you've heard any of my songs, it's pretty obvious that deeply emotional connection is the way that I would go.
Yep.
Like, if I can bring someone to tears in the audience, I'm like, yes, I've done something good.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the best part of playing live is, seeing an audience move. So Wild Party is fun. I think you might have been there one night where we were playing in Woden somewhere with Angels or Architects and they were serving us tequilas on stage. That was a fun night. Like, I'm not going to lie, that was a really fun night. I feel like you might have been there.
Was that in Phillip above the Henry Grattan?
Yes, it was. So I have fond memories of that night.
Yeah.
But I still think I'd prefer the, deeply emotional connection.
Yeah.
But that stands out as a fun night.
But every now and then just add tequila.
Yeah, tequila shots on stage. I mean, I thought that my singing was getting better as the set was going on, but I'm pretty sure it was getting a lot worse.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your music and your story.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Come back anytime. We're going to go out with one more Liv Li song. It's called Told You. What can you tell us about this song?
Yeah, I know we're out of time, so I'll tell you one quick fun thing that you can listen out for in this song. You can hear waves in this song if you listen really carefully. So we recorded this down in a coast house right on the water, And the demo was so good that we didn't want to not use the demo vocals, but there was so much noise from the ocean. So if you listen carefully, you'll be able to hear it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, let's listen out. This is Told You by Liv Li, released 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
Right. All right, let's have a listen.
You know that I could have told you. You know that I could have told you. Tired eyes, paralyzed. Bitter fights keep me up at night. But you didn't know just what to do. Yeah, you didn't notice me there for you. Everything you know, listen.